Welcome back, neighbors. Today I'm thinking Japanese and I want to do a traditional morning breakfast. I remember two things were very regulars. Number one was salmon or some type of fish. That was some miso soup. That in itself is enough, is comfort. But then one of my friends that I met there introduced me to the world of natto, and that, boop, it completely popped my comfort zone. My first reaction to it, starting off with the chopsticks, you gotta like twist it off. It's not it. I want to come back to it because it's a superfood, and let's see if I could like it. First things first, we got to start off with that little slurp that's going to warm up your body. That's miso soup, my friends. We got 4 cups of water in here. And then we have kombu, which is just kelp pieces that are meant for building a broth. About an iPhone-sized piece worth. Woohoo! I want to bring this water up to a boil semi-slowly. That way the kombu pieces have a little bit more time to release that umami into that water. And now the water is coming up to a boil. They've done their job well. Arigato! And then we have dried bonito flakes. It's called katsuobushi. How's the pronunciation? It's been a while since Japanese class. Let's put in 1 large handful. And then we could simply turn off the heat and we'll let this sit for 10 minutes. If you can't find katsuobushi in your area, you can get by with just using the dashima pieces. You can skip this technically. It's not going to taste as deep, but maybe you don't want to swim that deep. Maybe you want to just do some breaststroke in the shallow. So now you can see the very close parallels between Japanese and Korean cooking. For broth, they like to use thin shavings of the bonito fish, and in Korea, we like to use anchovies instead. And on YouTube, when I see Japanese cooks cut their tofu, they always cut it in the palm of their hands. I'm always curious why. I would try to see if it feels any better. No, I'm getting anxiety because I think I might cut my hand. Let's go all the way to see. Nope, it feels the same. Maybe this is just the way that Japanese moms do it and then they teach. But for me, I did not have a Nihonjin mother. I had a Kankokujin. Put the tofu down. Or if your tofu block is thick, guide your knife through the middle. You might be into more cuter sized tofu pieces. Cut, 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 cut. Alright, same thing here, about a tablespoon of the dried seaweed curls. We'll just let them sit until they start to open up. And after a few minutes, just drain out the water and give it a good squeeze. Alright guys, after about 10 minutes, we're going to strain these bonito flakes. And now you'll see the true color of the broth. Miso paste, it's made from the same thing as tenjang. It's made from soybeans. Just look at the difference. Korean style, a little bit more earthy, a little bit more funk here. And then add 2 or 3 tablespoons of miso paste. You can't throw it right into the swimming pool. It might get shock and get cramps in its toes. Oh, those are the worst. Mix it around. Give it a little taste. Let's add in our tofu. Then our seaweed. Wow, there it is. Let's scoop some out. A little rolling pot of miso. A little bit of green onions on top. And there it is, my friends. Something to warm up the soul. Alright, and of course, save that master pot for a little bit later. Next, we're going to make a light cucumber salad. In Japanese, it's called sunomono. In Korea, we call it oimuchim. It's the very same concept, just a little bit different flavorings. Korea is a little bit more spicy. I'm using some Asian cucumbers. This one, each are around the size of my forearm. My cucumber has a little bit of acne. Let's clean this up. I'm going to trim the ends off. And then try your best to cut them as thin as possible. You can also use a mandolin. Put this into a mixing bowl. And then we're going to use the help of salt to make them sweat and release their moisture. Just mix it in, the salt, so that all these small pieces can get some of them coated. And then we'll give them around 5 to 10 minutes. Set that aside. It's just dried seaweed. If it's not readily accessible, just skip it. I personally really like the texture of that seaweed in the salad. Cover it with cold water and let that blossom. And now the sauce. The color should get a little bit brown from the soy sauce. It should be tart from the vinegar and a little bit of sweetness from some sugar. 1 tablespoon of vinegar, half tablespoon of soy sauce. We'll do a half tablespoon of sugar, half tablespoon of sesame seeds, and then a teaspoon of sesame oil. I like to drop that in. We'll mix this up. marinade sauce here. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it'll be enough, trust me. And now our seaweed should have bloomed. I'll empty this water out. We're squeezing out all that empty thought, and we want to flavor it with that goodness right there. I think it's good. And the same thing here. Squeeze out the water and give it a nice firm squeeze. It's okay if some of them break like that. You know, when you peel them back apart, still look good. I like it very simple like this. This one, very nice. It just refreshes the palate. I'm gonna try. Our main protein, that beautiful salmon. So in the States, I remember like salmon steaks are like this big. In Japan and in Asia, it's smaller portions. Pat off extra moisture. And shame on the butcher, they actually took off the skin. It's nice to grill it like this at the end, right on the skin, so it gets crackly. Anyway, we'll do a base seasoning, salt, just a little bit, then some black pepper. Same thing on the other side. All right. And typically for breakfast, I usually eat no sauce with just salt and black pepper, the natural taste of salmon. Delicious. But if you do want some salty sauce on the side, I'll show you a salty sauce. We'll do 2 tablespoons of mirin, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Very simple. All right, for salmon, olive oil is bueno. And this skinny cut is gonna cook very fast. All right. Let that go. If you're cooking a salmon steak, make sure to cook it for a little bit longer. And we'll just give it enough time so it gets crispy on one side, then give it one flip. Few minutes, I think that's good. Beautiful. I'm gonna just flip this up, give that underside a little time to cook. All right, and then plate it into my beautiful fish plate. And oh my goodness, it kind of looks like a fish. You guys see it? This is a good sign because I'm gonna go scuba diving. Looks like I might see a whale, or hopefully that's not a shark. All right guys, I'm gonna quickly throw this oil out. And don't forget about that sauce, put that in. Wait till this thickens up slightly and that we have a nice glaze to put over our salmon. I want it to thicken down just a little bit more here. This seems more like a liquid, and this is perfect. I'm gonna pour it out into a little bowl, and we're gonna wait till that cools down. Be careful, it's very hot. And natto, here we meet again. I'm curious, out of our neighbors, who has tried natto? And did you like it the first time you tried? For me, the texture was too crazy in the beginning. I was too young, and I'll be quiet now so I don't taint your first experience. Plastic thing here. And what are these? These are soybeans. Kind of looks like they're in honey, right? That's what it looks like. It looks very unassuming. And the thing is, they're super sticky, and it's kind of like cobwebs where you gotta like do this tornado action in order to cut it off. All right, and if you just try one straight, it essentially has no flavor. It comes with some seasoned soy sauce. Just dump it in. All right guys, and then we have some light mustard. Gives it more flavor, not too much though. I like to chop up a little bit of green onions to this just to give it more color. So if you see this for the first time, you might be asking, why would I eat such a thing? It's because it's super healthy for you. Amazing for your gut. You know what, I'm gonna just throw in a few seaweed flakes here. All right, and then just mix that up. We'll plate it. A little bit more of our green onions on top. Let's put this up here. Let's put our beautiful salmon piece right up on top. Put this here. Next, we have our beautiful cucumber salad. My favorite food shot, always. You know, in Korean cooking, we use meshil extract. That was that Korean plum extract syrup. In Japan, they use the same plums. This is made by adding salt to them. So those plums shrivel up and they turn into these bad boys. They're yellow when they start, but they're dyed red by boiling the red shisho leaves, and that red turns them this beautiful color. I got to know umeboshi because I love drinking umeboshi sour. It's kind of like whiskey sour, but they drop one of these in there, and you break it apart as you sip on it. I love that it is izakayas. Good for drinks, but it's also good for adding to rice. And that, my friends, is how you get a Japanese boyfriend or girlfriend. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to dig in. So this plum is very salty, and you usually break it apart like this, and you kind of mix that around. Now, to be honest, I'm more interested in this natto. It's been a while, my friend, and I was a little bit shy my first time around. Now I learned how to do the tornado action. Ganbatte. I actually really like it. Soybeans are firm enough so it's not mushy. It has still a little bit of a chew. And then you get the light soy sauce flavor. And then that little bit of light wasabi in the back is perfect. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm a convert. Now I could see why people eat natto. Squeeze a little bit of lemon. You guys know how to eat salmon, right? Just a little bit of this sauce that we made earlier. Just take a look. Beautiful. Amazing. And then we can cleanse our palate with this light cucumber salad. This deserves a slow clap. I feel like I've been baptized into the church of natto. As a new convert, I like to challenge you as well. Foods that you know you don't like, but you want to like, give it a second chance this week. Let me know what it was and if it sparked joy again. Konbanwa. Adios. Peace.